In this video, I'm going to take apart this roller vane style fuel pump and show you how each of those parts work. At the end of the video, I'll apply power to the motor to show the pump and motor working together. Now the pump core and electric motor can be pulled out. There's a screen inside the suction end of the case. Prying with a small screwdriver breaks the pump mechanism free from the motor's magnets. Most electric motors are mounted on a shaft, and the motor rotates the shaft. This motor is a little unusual because it's mounted on a cylinder that slides over a shaft. The motor and cylinder rotate, but the shaft doesn't. I'm going to focus on showing the pumping mechanism first, then I'll show more details about the electric motor parts later in the video. This is the suction end of the pump where the fuel goes in. Spinning the pump shows the movement of the roller vanes. Fuel is sucked into this side of the pump by the voids created as the roller vanes are slung outward, and then pressed out on the other side when the rollers are pressed back into the body of the pump. With the pump cover off, it's easier to see how the roller vanes work. Now the roller vanes can be removed. If the output side of the pump is restricted, the excess pressure is released back into the suction side of the pump by this ball valve. This is the pressure end of the pump where the fuel comes out. There are a few parts of the electric motor made into this piece. For now, I'm going to zip forward and show removal of the check valve. Later in the video, I'll show the parts that I skipped. After removing a bunch of the electric motor parts, the check valve is under this last part. The check valve consists of a small spring and a rubber ball with a stem. The check valve keeps the fuel from draining back out of the fuel lines when the pump isn't running. That was all of the parts of the pumping mechanism. Now I'm going to go back and show the parts of the electric motor that I skipped. The 12 volts DC comes in through these two terminals and continues on a small wire under the cap to the brushes. There are springs that press the brushes against the commutator to maintain good electrical contact. Here's a nice trick that can get you out of a jam. If any device with brushes stops working, sometimes that's because the brushes wear down or the springs get weak. That can allow a brush to stick where it's not touching the commutator. Tapping the housing lightly can knock the brush free and get the device working again. This trick works for motors like fuel pumps, air conditioner blowers, and starters to release stuck brushes. This trick can also release stuck brushes on alternators and generators. This blue material surrounds the terminals to prevent shorts where the terminals pass through the housing. Now you can see the rest of the plastic surrounding the terminal. The terminal was difficult to get out because it was pressed in with an O-ring to prevent fuel from leaking around the terminal. Another tip, some fuel pumps have different sized terminals to help you keep track of positive and negative, so the nuts are also different sizes. Also, some pumps don't come with a set of nuts, so don't lose your nuts. There's a set of permanent magnets inside the case of the motor. One has its north pole facing the armature, and the other has its south pole facing the armature. The contacts on the commutator are connected by a long coated wire that's wrapped around the iron armature. When current goes through the long wire, a temporary magnetic field is created. The temporary magnet rotates the motor to align with the permanent magnets, but the brushes are mounted so the temporary magnetic field is always being created out of alignment with the permanent magnets. That shifting magnetic field keeps the motor turning. The current flowing through the wires would make the motor get hot, but the pump pushes fuel through the motor to lubricate it and keep it cool. So that's all the parts of a roller vane style fuel pump and how they work. Be sure to check the information section for updates, corrections, and links to related videos. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and most of all, please share this video. Thanks for watching.